The CSIRO has sounded the alarm that some of Australia's key cropping regions could be facing mice in plague proportions next year. For more, we're joined by Research Officer Steve Henry from Adelaide. Steve, welcome to the show.
Good morning, James.
Now, you've been out trapping, I understand. What sort of things have you found?
Yeah, so routinely we trap 3 times a year across most of the cropping zone, and what we found in particular in our September trapping is much higher numbers of mice than we'd normally expect to catch at this time of the year. And what was really concerning for us was that most of the females that we caught were reproductive, so they were either at the point of having babies or had obviously bred recently.
Right, so conditions are right then for a population boom. Whereabouts is likely to be most affected?
Yeah, so where we were most concerned was the Yorke Peninsula and Adelaide Plains, but certainly there's a large part of the cropping zone that had some of the sort of precursor symptoms that we are concerned about. If you get more than 20 months of dry weather and then you get more than 200 millimetres of in-crop rainfall, then they seem to be the precursing conditions that lead to increasing numbers, and certainly areas like the Wimmera in Victoria, they've experienced those sort of conditions as well.
So essentially there's enough food and enough water to allow the mice not just to breed but then have a lot of their babies survive too.
Exactly, and the really concerning thing, of course, is that rate of reproduction. When they start breeding when they're 6 weeks old, they give birth to 6 to 10 babies every 19 to 21 days, and there's no break in pup production, and they fall pregnant straight away after giving birth. And so they go from one litter to the next, and if you've got 100 females, they turn into 600 animals very quickly.
We've lived through a mice plague in the central west of New South Wales. I know how extraordinary they can be. What does it mean for farmers, though? I mean, they basically just wipe out whole crops if they get into huge numbers, don't they?
Yeah, like the last outbreak in central New South Wales in 2021 cost rural communities about $660 million, and that doesn't account for the psychosocial impacts that mice have on populations or people as well, people in these communities. I think one of the real challenges is that with other pests or problems like drought, you can go inside, close the door and get away from them. But with mice, you can't get away. They're in your house. The smell's there all the time. You actually feel like you're not doing a good job of cleaning your house. People report feeling depressed and feelings of real desperation, if you like, that they actually can't deal with these problems.
Yeah, the cats bring them inside, they get inside, they die in the walls, they stink. How likely is it that conditions could get as bad as we saw in New South Wales 4 years ago?
Look, we're hoping that they won't get to that state, but what we want to do is make sure that people are aware. They probably won't cause a lot of damage this harvest because we're right there now. Farmers are getting their harvesters ready and going at the moment. But what we want to say to farmers is harvest as clean as possible, provide the least amount of food as you possibly can, and keep an eye on your stubbles through the summertime. And if you start to see increases in numbers, then that's the time to be prepared to take some action.